are listening live to the Vito and Vito Show.
Disrespectful to the executive branch.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
Don't sign the damn deal, and the president won't.
Therefore, I do not believe that the majority can vote a man's life or property or freedom away from him.
And we're live here on the Vito and Vito Show. I'm Vito.
And I'm Vito.
And we want to welcome everybody to the Vito and Vito Show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Check out the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. And allow my co-host to explain what you're listening to.
Well, we're bringing you the perspectives of two college-age millennial conservative libertarians out of liberal hellhole Brooklyn, New York, where we're committed to defending the principles of free markets, liberty, and individualism. We hold no punches here on the show.
None here at all. Conservative, millennial, libertarian, millennial people out here talking about this stuff. And we are going to talk about Donald Trump tonight. Vito's never... Yeah, Vito over there.
All the way over here.
All the way over there, who just burped in the microphone. That Vito is never Trump. I am on the Trump train. I love Trump. Cruz was my first choice, but now Trump is the nominee, and he was my second choice, so I'm giving it all for Trump. I'm in the tank for him.
Your first choice was principled, and then your second choice was like, out the window.
How is he out the window?
What principles?
Well, we're going to build a wall.
Yeah, that's real.
There's a principle. Is that not a principle? We're going to build a wall?
Yeah, but where'd he get that from?
Where'd he get that from?
Because he's always been a staunch conservative his entire life.
No, of course not.
To build
no.
Always believe that the constitutional duty of the United States government is to protect their rights.
Hey, people's views change. It happens.
I'm glad that he decided last year immediately to fly all the way over to the far right and run for president.
Well, we're going to see just where this leads. Indeed, we're going to look at the matchups. We're going to look at the electoral map, so we're going to see just where Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump can go head-to-head. And we have another topic on the show, Vito.
We do?
Really?
What is it? What's happening?
Really? You don't know
I
the
like
topic?
surprises.
Yeah.
I like...
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. In other news, President Obama. President Obama is the biggest loser ever to sit in the White House. And I'm saying that in full confidence, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying that, Vito, in absolute full confidence. Because the man goes to Japan. And he starts apologizing. Effectively.
Well, he promised that he won't apologize.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Which is saying, as he's leaving, he's got to say, "Don't worry, guys, I won't apologize." Like we know, like he's done that before. So just to even bring that up and like make sure to tell the people he's not going to apologize is terrible.
That's basically what he did. He went to Japan and he was telling it. This is over Memorial Day, and by the way, for Memorial Day, that recently passed. I want to say thank you to all the vets listening to the program. Mm-hmm. You guys make it possible for us to sit here and gibber on and on about this stuff. So thank you to those vets who are here, and to those who unfortunately are not. We are in our prayers, and we thank you for that too. The family members and all that, because it really is tough, Vito. I mean, speaking of, I don't really have a lot of military people in my family, but by speaking of people who do, you sort of you're learning something about another person. You're learning just what they go through. And it doesn't just affect the soldier out in the battlefield. It affects, the soldier and his family at home. And I think that's really the most, if you think about it, the most challenging thing I think a person can go through.
If you think about it, it not just affects the veteran, but their family and their friends. So if you do the math, there's almost everybody in this country who is affected or who knows a veteran. So there's always something connected. So when you talk about issues like the VA and how...
Right.
terrible the system is and how it's affecting veterans and how a certain number of them commit suicide every day, that affects every single American at some point in their lifetime, because everybody knows a vet or is related or to some sort have some association to one of them.
Right, and that's just, around 20 to 23 vets commit suicide a day. Did you know that?
That's terrible.
That is absolutely terrible, and I think a big part of that is the blame is the VA. And Donald Trump making it a very big thing. The VA is central to his campaign, fixing the VA and veterans anyway. And I just want to clear the air on this, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking about vets issues, we see this in the news a lot. Donald Trump, did he really raise the $5 million when he didn't do the CNN debate? Remember that? He didn't do the CNN debate, and
right.
He had a whole press conference, a whole event for veterans, fundraiser, trying to raise money for them. He raised over $4 million, over $5 million. So good for Donald Trump. He put up $1 million of his own money. So again, you want to talk about putting his money where his mouth is? He has. And when a man does that and he sticks to his word like that, the Never Trump crowd, I start to just sort of get more and more confused as to just why they're so anti-Trump. Because the guy said he's going to stand up for veterans, and he does, and he did, and he put up his own money, and now he's making it a central point in his campaign. He was speaking with Rick Perry earlier this week. He was talking to Rick Perry, who made veterans a central issue in his campaign, and now they're trying to work together, trying to bridge the gap here. So you're going to have to explain this to me, Vito. You are the Never Trump representative. Why? Where
the whole
is
movement
right there, in the palm of your hands? Why is it that he's done this already? He's already shown where he stands on veterans issues, and right now, you don't think that's enough?
He hasn't fully shown because, one, I can't trust him. He has not proved that he's trustworthy. Two, he also mentioned a couple weeks ago how everything he's ever said, any policy, is just a suggestion. He did say this. So to say, okay, he donated the money, that's great. The man's worth billions. I would expect and hope for him to donate a certain amount of money to these issues. Everybody knows if you're running for president and be talking about veteran issues, well, obviously that's going to help if he's going to hold a fundraiser and fundraise money and donate money to the veterans. That's great. That's great. I'm not saying he doesn't like the veterans. There's a lot of people who do donate and who do these things for the veterans. But what exact policy? What does he have in plan for the VA? And then how do I know that he's actually going to follow through on that? Because we all know he's going to make the deals. We are the deal. I make deals. Deal. Everything's a deal. So if he wants the wall, if he wants certain things that he hasn't even talked about, because he did say everything was a suggestion. Because once he's in office, he can do anything he wants. Because we've seen that with so many politicians. We've seen that with so many different people. Then why should we believe Donald Trump now, who has no record of this?
Well, if you look at his website, Trump has a detailed plan on the VA. It's called Veterans Administration Reforms. So right there, number one, he says ensure our veterans get the care they need, no more waiting for backlogs. He wants to get rid of a lot of excessive red tape. He wants to go ahead and he wants to support veterans in the invisible wounds that they incur in the battlefield, such as the PTSD. That's affecting a lot of veterans. And he wants to, again, make the VA great again. And I think a lot of that is firing corrupt and incompetent VA executives. Because if you look at that, the VA is absolutely a complete disaster. In terms of leadership, the absolute leadership is terrible. He wants to increase funding for PTSD, traumatic brain injury, suicide prevention services. He wants to increase funding for job training. He wants to transform the VA by expanding services for female veterans. OBGYNs in terms of female veterans, so stuff like that. He wants to end waste, fraud, and abuse. Again, there is up to, ridiculous amounts of money that gets wasted in the VA. He has it here on his website. The days of $6.3 million for statues and fountains at VA facilities and $300,000 for a manager to move 140 miles are over. It's over, he says. This is his plan for the VA. And a whole lot more on his website. Plus, he wants to hire more veterans to care for veterans, which I always think is a great idea. Because over the Memorial Day weekend, while everybody was out celebrating on the barbecues, and so was I saw that movie again, American Sniper. It was on HBO. Mm-hmm. And what a great film. Because the guy, Chris Kyle, if you should read the book is more insightful. But if you watch the movie, you get a good gist of what's going on. Chris Kyle, for those of you who haven't seen it, goes and helps veterans. Unfortunately, he died helping a veteran. The guy who shot him was another vet, and PTSD was an issue for him, and he took Chris Kyle's life along with his own, and another service member. So that's unfortunate. But I always said this: we need more people that were there to sort of empathize and get a gist, a better feeling of what it's like to go. Mm-hmm. What war is like to go through? What is it like to serve and stuff like that?
Nobody knows a veteran better than a veteran.
Absolutely. Pretty much that's how you're going to phrase it. And it's Donald Trump. That's his plan. He wants to get more vets in there. And I think that's a great idea. An absolutely great idea. Because I haven't heard that neither. By the way, Bernie Sanders, we hear this all the time, along with all the other Democrats in Congress, how they they like vets and all that stuff, and they we care for everybody and all this crap. It's a lie. It's an absolute lie. Bernie Sanders being one of those senators who voted to cut pensions for veterans. So, to all the Bernie people out there, I'm dying to know why these people who do nothing for this country, fast food workers, why they deserve $15 an hour, but a veteran who risked his life, along with the turmoil that goes through with his family and friends, why is it that they have to get their pensions cut? So that's an issue that I think we should bring up for Bernie's people. We should have them on the show.
Absolutely.
I want to get a Bernie thing. I want to get like a Bernie supporter or something like that to get him on the show. It's gonna be exciting.
Or somebody from the campaign, somebody actually knows a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm open to that. I'm open to people coming onto the show with different viewpoints and going back and forth. It should be fun. All right, Vito, let's get into this right now. Paul Ryan coming out. He's endorsing Donald. We'll get to the President Obama thing later and the Electoral College map. But right now, Paul Ryan coming out early in the week, and he says he's voting for Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton comes out, says Trump's incompetent. Trump shouldn't be in charge of the nuclear weapons. Vito, do you agree with Hillary Clinton is the question, that Donald Trump should not be in control of the nuclear weapons? You stumped him. See that? Like, I just did it.
If it's
I did
over
it.
her and him, if it's between them two, I mean, Donald Trump. See, I'm not voting for Donald Trump not because I think he's a lunatic who's just going to blow up the world or start World War III. I don't think he'll do that. I think Hillary Clinton is just incompetent. I think she's a failure, and she's corrupt. So I do not want to put someone like that in office. I think either of these two people can control the button, control the nuclear weapons. You know?
You think Hillary Clinton is better?
I did not say that.
Okay, let me get one thing straight. So you said both of them are somehow qualified to... Okay. See, this is where I got to disagree with you, because that's absolute BS.
I do not see Hillary Clinton starting World War III.
Neither do I see Donald Trump starting World War III.
Me neither.
First of all, I want to just get this out of the air right now, because I hear this a lot from either never Trump people or Democrats in general, when they're like, oh, we can't go ahead and support Donald Trump because he's going to start World War III. That's total BS, and I'll tell you why. First of all, who is he going to go to war with? Give me a country that Donald Trump is possibly going to go to war with.
Russia.
Why would the Russians attack us? Do you know how much money is spent in the United States between Russia in terms of trade?
Mm-hmm. Or China. How many people told me we're going to go to war with China because we're not going to pay him back? We're not going to war with China. We're not starting World War III.
It is absolutely ridiculous to even make that assertion, because China, if they do go to war with the United States,
there goes the economy.
There goes their economy. We are their biggest importer. We take in a ridiculous amount of Chinese goods. I'm going to pull up the number right now, but we are their biggest importer, and you know, that we're their biggest trading partner. So I don't even want to hear this right now, how Donald Trump's going to start World War III. Now, you somehow said that Hillary Clinton is somewhat qualified to go ahead and have the nuclear codes in front of her. The same woman, Vito, who with Benghazi, you walked right into this.
No,
okay. And let's not also forget the reset. Hold on. Let's not forget the reset with Russia. Let's not forget Benghazi, Libya. I mean, do we need to go on this list here of Hillary Clinton?
You see what you just did? You see what you just did? You took the words from my mouth and spun them. You
is that what I did?
literally spun them.
This is not the No Spin Zone. This is not O'Reilly's show.
Well, you see, if you go back on the tape, because this is being recorded,
it's not. I'm editing this stuff out. This may prove my point. But where am I wrong? Go ahead.
I said that I do not see World War III starting happening under Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. The world's not going to end, so any person on either side is going to say, oh my God, Hillary Clinton, the world's going to end, I'm moving to Canada. Oh my God, Donald Trump, I'm moving to Canada, the world's going to end. No. Okay? The world is not going to collapse if Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump becomes president. The United States will do so much worse under Hillary Clinton. But I do not think she should be in control of this because of what you just listed, such as the reset button, Cuba, Benghazi. She should not be in control. But it's going to be terrible, but I don't think World War III is going to start.
So, you're voting for Trump?
I'm not voting for him.
Okay.
See, I think maybe...
I don't know where we're going with this.
Somebody else I would would probably be better with the button. I don't know, like Ted Cruz.
I would think he would be great with the,
Gary Johnson, even.
Well, let's talk about that. That's another thing, too. Gary Johnson is polling around 10%. You need 15%, according to the Presidential Debates Commission, to get into the general election debate. That means we could possibly see 3 candidates running. Legitimately, and have, him on TV. Which would be actually really cool. By the way, he was on the program. On the Vito and Vito show. Go back in the tapes and look it up. Gary Johnson was with us. He's a real nice guy. He really is cool. I really do like Gary Johnson. The governor's a nice man.
So you go saying my vote's going to be nothing if you vote for the third
No,
party.
I
you
mean,
have
I
to
still-
push. If you vote on principle, we can get Gary Johnson to 15% and watch him on TV. And my God, he will school Trump and Hillary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. We are going to poll so high right now. We're going to get Gary Johnson over the hump so we can watch him on television. Woo!
We'll get him on the show again. I'm Gary Johnson.
U.S. goods and private services trade with China totaled around $579 billion in 2012. Want to let everyone know right now. So
we owe him?
and we do owe. If you look at the numbers, we owe them around $1.8 trillion specifically. A lot of the other money, if you think about it, with the debt, a lot of it is really owed to ourselves. It's institutional debt. So we sort of like owe Social Security money and we owe Medicaid money. A lot of it is also unfunded liabilities, which is going to be the other, the next big thing that's going to crash here.
Has Trump spoke about cutting any of these programs?
I just said he wants to reform some things.
But has he mentioned any programs he wants to cut? Play the little O button that you do when you got it. You got the controls. Go play that now.
Vito, he did say he wants to go ahead and protect Social Security, but at the same time, he has to reform it. He knows that it's out of control.
Yeah, how? So my mom knows it's out of control, too, but I don't think she's going to be president.
Well, look at his website. He talks about it.
What does it say?
Well, we're going to look it up right now.
Because
after
there's high school seniors that do the same thing, write papers about these things, and don't know what they're doing. It's not hard to put words in.
This is ridiculous. Anyway, look, Trump is not the perfect candidate, but right now I think he's a pretty good candidate for the GOP.
Compared to Hillary.
Compared to Hillary? Yeah, I think so, absolutely.
That's like putting one piece of crap next to like a dog's piece of crap and be like, well, my crap's a little better than that one. You see how that smells?
Unbelievable. I love you trash a businessman.
It's polished crap.
You are trashing a businessman who has made so much money over the course of his life.
So Mitt Romney made a lot of money too being a businessman. He's a great businessman.
But just to call him a piece of crap, is ridiculous. I mean, this man is farther than that.
Let me rephrase it. He's a polished piece of crap in the political world.
Hillary Clinton is I will give you that.
She is.
Yes. She has done nothing. I don't know what she has done aside mass power and influence and silence rape victims. I do not know. Yeah, pretty much. But Trump, I think, is a lot different. Anyway, let's stick on the topic right here. You still don't know what's going on. You are never Trump officially, right?
Yes.
Okay, you are never Trump officially, and you are not voting for the Donald. I am. Are you voting for? So who are you voting for? Gary Johnson?
I am considering it.
You really?
Yes.
Because you had Austin Peterson.
I do like Austin Peterson.
Yeah.
I have to look more into libertarian candidates. But listen, Gary Johnson at 10%, we can get him to 15%. If there is a push, it's not like he's pulling it like 0.5%, and there's like that completely throwing that vote away.
Yeah, but even
but I have more options. I do like other candidates besides.
If you even get your way, the whole Never Trump thing gets their way, and Gary Johnson, who is by the way the Libertarian presidential nominee, and I want to talk about just how awesome it is that Yahoo, I saw it on my phone, and CNN, all these news organizations, him trending on Twitter, Facebook, a third-party candidate like Gary Johnson, the Libertarian Party is finally getting recognition, and it's really, really good. Now, I don't think Gary Johnson's a good messenger. I think Austin Peterson was actually better. But I still think Gary's going to be all right. I think the Libertarian Party is going to be all right, and I think they're going to grow as a result of this. But I'm sorry, I don't see what you're getting with this. Well, if you get this fringe candidate like Donald Trump calls him, and I happen to like Gary on a couple of issues, except his, the fact that he wants to force Jewish bakers to bake Nazi wedding cakes. He's all for employment discrimination laws.
Nobody's perfect.
Which isn't really a libertarian, but nonetheless, you got to explain to me where you're going with a guy like Gary Johnson. He's not going to win. He's not going to get electoral college votes. He's not going to get anywhere, and I think it's a complete waste of time. And instead of coalescing around someone like Donald Trump, you're splitting the vote, and you're effectively giving it to a guy like, or you're giving it to Hillary Clinton, should I say, who could be a guy, I don't know.
No, I'll give my vote to Gary Johnson maybe then. If it's going to help expand the Libertarian Party and get more votes towards that, I'm going to vote on principle, just like John Quincy Adams said, who I never really liked as president. But he said, always vote on principle, though you may vote alone, and you may cherish the sweetest reflection that your vote is never lost.
That's it, John Quincy Adams.
Okay,
Vito's favorite president. John Quincy Adams.
Quincy.
Not Lincoln, not Washington, not Reagan. John Quincy Adams.
Oh, come on.
What?
Don't do that to Quincy.
Listen, all I'm saying...
It's a good quote.
All I'm saying is that it is a complete waste of time to vote.
No.
For something like that. And honestly, Donald Trump...
to vote for somebody I like?
No, I mean, I don't see where you're going with this, especially the whole Never Trump thing. They hate Trump so much, but you look at a lot of his stuff on his website, and he has some pretty dynamite ideas. Again, the VA reform, U.S. trade and China trade reform.
Do you understand?
I think that this is not a terrible loss here with Donald Trump.
No,
Plus, you're getting a guy who is going to put every, I think, foreign leader in check.
Okay.
For example, he had North Korea by the balls. He did. He had North Korea, when they came out and pretty much endorsed Donald Trump and said, I'd rather have see Trump. He's a strong leader. Something like that from the King Jong, whatever his name is, from North Korea. And then Putin comes out a couple of months ago and says Donald Trump is a. But they respect him, Vito. They respect
because
Trump.
our you can say enemy. You see, the other superpower in the world, somebody who the United States really doesn't have the best relations with, is going to say, I would rather have a really strong, tough leader who's going to give me more problems in office.
No, I'm sorry.
What?
No. Yes, because they will see someone like Trump. They'll look him in the eye and they're like, you know what? We really can't play a game like we can play around Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. We got to look Donald Trump in the eye.
They would rather play the games about Obama and Hillary because they're weak.
Of course they would rather play the games, but they don't even respect them enough to say that they would rather play the games. They are basically saying, guess what?
That's like the Republicans saying, we'd rather Bernie Sanders win the Democrat nominee because he'll be very easy to beat.
No, you know, not even that. Well, they have. I've said that. Everyone said that.
Yes, it's the same thing. So that doesn't mean, oh, look, even the Republicans want
No, I totally
even
disagree.
Putin likes him.
I totally disagree because the Republican Party will say that. I've said that. I'd rather Bernie win the nomination so we could beat him and crush him in the general.
Bernie can't use that as endorsement.
No, Vito, but you're not following the substance of what I'm saying. I've said that Bernie, I would rather have him as a nominee. This way the Republicans can beat him. I've said that in the full context. But Putin and King Jong, whatever his name is, have not. They have not ever put a sort of like a what do you call that thing? An asterisk, like next to their endorsement, if you will, of Donald Trump. They see the guy as a worthy adversary. And you know what? That's absolutely awesome.
Really?
Yeah, Vito, you should be wrong. Where am I wrong here?
You tell me that Putin, you tell me he is not BSing that? At all?
No, I don't think so.
You tell me he really, so you tell me right now he says, I don't like Obama because he's too weak. I don't respect him. I'd rather have this country have a really strong, prominent leader who I do respect, who's going to give me problems, not let me do what I want to do. Does that make any sense?
They are, yes, because what they're doing is Donald Trump is saying, or not Donald Trump, Putin and Kim Jong-un are saying, guess what? For years, we pretty much walked over a lot of these U.S. presidents.
Which they want to do.
But they're not going to do it with Trump, is what I'm saying.
Then why would they want Trump in?
Because it's a change of pace. Now they get to finally have some fun. I'm telling you, laugh all you want, but Trump's going to put all these mothers in their place, and it's going to be great to watch.
Yeah, but
there will be no invasion of the
There's
going to be no invasion of the South China Sea. There's going to be none of this stuff going on by North
and
Korea.
Putin wants that. I like you because you're going to put me in my place, not let me do what I want.
You're not following the entire context. We're going to break. When we return, we'll fight more. We're going to, what do you call it? Have a fist fight. After this, when we return to the Vito and Vito Show.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org, brought to you by ReadyPA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
We're back here to the Vito and Vito Show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Vito and Vito Show. I'm pro-Trump. Vito, that guy over there, not talking. He's never Trump. It's ironic, isn't it? He has a radio show. He doesn't talk. Vito, just got into a fierce debate, me and you, even after during the break.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Is it a good thing that Vlad Putin wants Trump to become president? Good or bad? Just tweeted that. Go to at Vito and Vito Show on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pin that. And go vote. Is it good or bad? Do you agree with me, who makes sense, or Vito and Vlad Putin, who just wants a worthy opponent?
Vito, you don't understand. The Russians have been raping and beating us with President Obama. Need I not remind you? Can I remind you when President Obama basically bent over to Putin in his chair and turns around and says to him, when I get reelected, I'll have more flexibility. Do you remember this? Okay.
Yeah. Vlad wants to bend more people over. So
and
why would you want Trump to win?
He's going to bend people over.
Except for Trump.
And you know what? He made a mockery of this country for years. But now he sees a man like Donald Trump and he's like, you know what? This is a worthy opponent. I enjoy this. He respects the competition. That's what it is.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he wants him to win.
I don't know if he wants to win or not. The point is, if Trump does win, he's going to be a worthy opponent.
That's like
for
saying
Vladimir
you
Putin.
respect the New York Mets because they're really good. That doesn't mean I want to play them right now in the series.
No, Vito, but the point that I'm trying to say is, and I don't know if Putin has technically come out and said, I want him as president or whatever the case may be, but the point is, if he is president, they're going to lock eyes, and it's going to be a fierce competition. And I'm on the Trump team. And Vito, you could sit on the Gary Johnson team, or the Austin Peterson team, or the Hillary Clinton team, or whatever team the Never Trump gang wants to sit on.
Everywhere.
But guess what? It's going to be a great show to watch, and I can't wait.
Donald Trump, why Putin loves him. Putin says Trump is an absolute leader. He's brilliant, talented. This and that. He likes him. He wants him to become president. Just like how I wanted Bernie to become the Democrat
He wants
nominee.
him to become president because it's going to give Putin a challenge. Honestly, that's
He
what I really
wants
think
a
it
challenge?
I swear, he's gotten away with this so many long. He's raped over.
Okay.
He has screwed over the Europe all over the place in terms of looking at the Europeans and playing with their gas supply and their energy supply over Crimea. He's been having a field day. He's walked over the U.S. and NATO in terms of what happened in Georgia when he invaded Georgia under George W. Bush. He looked at President Obama and he runs circles around him. Not to mention the reset button with Hillary Clinton.
So it's too
this
easy
is
for
finally. This is it.
You're saying that Vlad Putin thinks that his job as president of the second most powerful country in the world is too easy.
Yes.
That he wants a challenge, so he wants the number one spot from the U.S.
You disagree. You can laugh all you want, but I'm
and now
telling you right now.
he wants a challenge for that.
This is happening. This is what's going on.
You know what happens when one crazy guy really wants a challenge with another crazy guy? Maybe there will be World War III. Oh, you think Donald Trump's going to stand down? And you think Putin wrestles bears?
They're going to great.
Okay.
This is.
He has Asperger's. He wrestles bears. He is crazy.
And
Donald
you know
Trump,
what?
In a good way, Donald Trump is crazy. Okay? Oh, my God.
It's going to be great. And it's not just them. It's also going to be China, and it's going to be Mexico, because we got a guy now who's going to completely change things around. But it's not official yet. What happened, Vito? What happened?
No, people are voting.
What'd they say?
There's only a couple votes in Black.
What'd they say?
So far, they're saying
What'd they say, Vito?
Good.
What they say?
They're agreeing with you so far.
Read the question.
So far, again?
One more time.
On at Vito and Vito Show, on Twitter. Is it a good thing that Vladdy, wants Trump to become president? So far, with 5 votes, 100% saying good. But they're not listening to the show. They don't understand.
They're listening to the show.
How is that a good thing? What if Elizabeth Warren says Donald Trump will make a good president?
We're crossing party lines. What's the problem here?
That's great. Yeah, we're bringing the Republican Party and making them Democrat.
No, we're not.
Why would any liberal or
I haven't seen Trump
psychopath...
waver. I have not seen Trump waver on any position, let alone a statement also. So the man has not shifted in his entire campaign season.
He completely said everything he said before was a suggestion.
No. And if you look into what he was saying about that, he was talking about more of his details and stuff, more of his proposals. If you read The Art of the Deal, you'll know what he's saying. He's going to stake a position all the way to the side. That he's why are you laughing at me?
Because,
he's going to
stake a position on the side.
That's his starting point.
Which is very conservative. Then he's going to work his way to the middle.
You really think Donald Trump... Hold on. Let me get this straight.
He's going to become more moderate.
Let me get this straight. So you mean to tell me that Donald Trump, after this entire campaign season of arguing and telling everybody that we're going to build a wall, you mean to tell me Donald Trump's going to change his stance on that? Are you serious? Because that would be suicide, first of all. That would
Do you
be
think he cares?
Absolute political suicide.
If he wins the election.
Absolutely.
No, okay, number one, if that doesn't pass, he's going to argue that he's going to keep trying to get it passed. That's nothing. 2, if he doesn't get it passed, we've seen so many politicians every day of our lives go back on their word. 3, if he doesn't run again for re-election, he'll just say, I only want to be president for 1 term. I made it great. It was huge. I did what I wanted to do. And he's going to leave on his helicopter. Okay? Then we're going to be screwed with the sitting president leaving. Okay? So it doesn't matter. Okay? Because how is he going to build the wall?
I'm sorry, Vito.
You know what? He should hire his own company. He should make a construction company and hire them to build the wall.
Good, he should. And it will happen. Say what you want about Donald Trump. He
says,
will not do that.
The gold.
The man knows right now if he'll first of all, he'll destroy everything because it's not just what is currently. He'll be president for 4 years. Great. But it doesn't mean. Let's keep in
more than a year or 2 to get the wall built.
Let's keep in mind that if Trump backtracks on anything he's basically saying, his major platform planks, let's keep in mind that if he does do that, Donald Trump is going to hurt himself with the people. And if he does that with the people, it's going to be an absolute disaster, number one.
Okay.
Number 2, we're talking about him destroying the Republican Party. You say it doesn't matter. Of course it matters because he'll become the party's biggest fundraiser. Donald Trump will have amassed more power outside of office than he does inside of office. And if there's one thing that man loves, it's that ability to go ahead and sway people's opinions. Donald Trump cannot, will not, and absolutely, for the love of God, for his own sake, his own selfish self-interest, will not destroy himself. He will not do that. He can't do that.
Okay, so he keeps fighting for the wall. But what about, the millions of other issues that the President of the United States has to deal with?
And he'll learn. He'll figure it out.
He'll learn. He'll get sworn into office and say the first couple of days is your training period.
Nobody just walks into the office and has amassed all this power in his
No. Yes, they get updated. There's certain protocols to go through. But to learn certain things, number 1, having principle helps. Okay? Number 2,
where has he waved? This, again, we're going back to this one more time. This is his, and by the way, when he talked about the suggestion, that was really centered around tax reform. Okay, that was really where the whole debate was.
So what is his real tax reform plan?
Well, he did say taxes might go up a little bit on the rich in order to get it through. But you know what? Hey, did Ronald Reagan, did he or did he not raise taxes during his term as president?
And what do you do later?
Did he or did he not, after the drastic tax cut of 81, did he or did he not raise taxes later on?
Yes.
He did.
Why?
In an attempt to...
He raised taxes and lowered taxes. And also, what did Bush do? Senior.
Read my lips.
Yeah. So, always go...
Read my lips, I know
increase, taxes decrease, they play around with it. But when Trump says, years ago, he was a Democrat... Years ago, I mean fairly recently.
I don't care what happened prior to his entry into the race.
What?
I don't care.
What?
I don't give a damn.
If Elizabeth Warren runs for president next term, let's see, Elizabeth Warren runs for president in 2020, and she decides she's a born-again Republican. I'm going to believe everything you say, Miss Warren.
No,
you are Native American. You are a conservative. Yes, tell me how you love fiscal responsibility. Because you just believe it. I have a freaking bridge to sell you twice. Okay?
Vito, again, I will restate this point. Elizabeth, and second of all, you also have to take into account that Donald Trump is not controlled by anybody. I don't care what you say. Lobbyists and all that. It's not even close with Donald Trump.
It's not about being controlled.
Yes, it does, because Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren, your hypotheticals,
they're bought, but Donald
they're
Trump
all
isn't
bought.
bought. I know he's not bought. So that means he can be a Democrat if he wants to be. That means he can switch sides. He can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants, you're right. But if he has to know what he can and can't do in terms of the public pressure. The public pressure will be hard on
Trump. So he'll get the wall built. He'll force Mexico to pay for it. And we'll go into a trade war with Mexico. That's amazing. Okay? We'll have a giant wall with Trump's name on. Just like how the pyramids in Egypt were named after each king and emperor. And how all these things in years ago empires, they had their own bridges named after them. We will have Trump's wall. Okay? So we can all remember Donald Trump building the wall. But then all the other policies, he will slowly screw us because he's actually not a conservative.
No,
because if you read in between the lines of...
What did he say about the minimum wage, Vito? What did he say about the minimum wage?
That he wants to raise it?
Wrong. He said he'd rather get rid of it because standard of living in New York is completely different than the standard of living in California. Or should I say, like, Missouri or
something. Did he say that before or after he said he wants to raise it?
Afterwards.
What about the same?
Because he did say he wants to see it raised. Now, he was talking in general terms, and he would like to see wages. He would like to see wages rise. Look, we can do this all day.
No, I'm talking about minimum wage. They know what minimum wage is. Not, I would like to see everybody have a higher standard of living by creating more job growth in the private sector by the government not getting involved. He said
that too. No. He said that too.
Yeah, that's my point. He says every answer there is. He chooses all the above for every question. Okay?
You just don't see the big picture here, Vito.
It's huge.
You don't. He came to me in a dream.
That's a problem.
All right, let's talk about the Electoral College right now. Vito, you sent to say that Donald Trump... Will he win the general, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, you think he will. I say he will.
I say he won't win New York.
Okay, let's take a look at the swing states right now. You say, well, New York is not a swing state, but let's just take a look at some of the swing states and what's going on here. Ohio, Colorado, Iowa, Nevada, New Hampshire, Virginia, and Florida are effectively the key swing states. There we go. Where are we going here, Vito?
Well,
can Donald Trump win in Ohio is the question. We'll break this down. Can he win in Ohio? I think he can.
I think he will, and he'll wind up winning the general election by winning these swing states.
You think he'll win all of them? I think Ohio should be careful here. I think Ohio's going to be tough. Colorado, he'll win Colorado hands down. Iowa, absolutely. Nebraska, no problem. New Hampshire, I think he'll win New Hampshire. I think he'll win a bunch of states in the Northeast. I think this entire whole thing, I see people on Fox and all these other stations arguing about the Electoral College. I think it's all nonsense. You cannot apply past principles in terms of what happened in other elections in the past, like key swing states, and bring it over here into this election and try to apply the same logic. It doesn't work. Donald Trump has changed the game. Record turnout is in every freaking state this man has went ahead and ran in. He has absolutely changed the field. I am telling you now, I would not be surprised if the man went 60-40. I can see him crushing Hillary so bad. He'll win Florida hands down. He's already considering Rick Scott as the VP, the governor of Florida, and Newt Gingrich. He's narrowed it down to 2, so reports are saying. He's got Virginia. I think Virginia, please, come on, he's got that. New Hampshire, and I think a total bunch of the Northeast states are going to swing and vote for Trump. Why? Because I think he'll bring over Bernie people. Because a lot of those people are going to be so dissatisfied they don't like Hillary, they'll protest and vote for Trump. I think he's going to pick up a ridiculous amount of record first-time voters. He's going to go ahead, he's going to bring out the Republican Party. He's going to bring out women. He's going to bring out everybody, and he's going to crush Hillary in terms of voter turnout. The Republican Party is going to be stronger with Trump in terms of winning in the general election from now and years forward if they follow the Trump platform. Am I wrong or am I right?
You think Trump's going to win New York?
I think he'll win. Not just New York, but I think a bunch of the Northeast states.
He's just going to sweep the country. No, he's not winning New York. He's not. Clinton is up 21 points from him, almost.
Yeah, okay, let's keep one thing very clear right now. It is June. The election is in November. Okay,
Right, and how blue is
polls,
New York?
when Donald Trump did not officially clinch the nomination, John Kasich and the rest of them, and even Ted Cruz, and I will say that respectfully because he was my first choice. Ted Cruz and John Kasich all made the claim that Donald Trump loses badly, loses by double digits to Hillary Clinton. John Kasich went even further to make the claim that he is the only one that can beat Hillary. The same argument that Bernie used, that he's the only one that can beat all three Republicans.
And they all use
It's all nonsense. I don't care what those polls say.
Except you're
Donald
expecting
Trump
the
doesn't care
bluest
what those
states.
polls say prior to when the race is really going on. Beforehand, Donald Trump was losing by 20 points. Now, it's practically tied with Hillary Clinton. So I don't want to hear it. I'm telling you now, New York
in
is
the
going
general
to flip.
for the country, not New York.
New York's going to flip. The man he won every single county in the state. With the exception
In the
of
primary.
Manhattan. I think there was one in Manhattan.
In the primary, how many Republicans vote in the New York primary?
How many of those people are first-time voters that registered to vote for Trump? How many Democrats? How many Democrats, independents, and other people? By the way, New York is a closed primary state. So, how many other people who couldn't have the ability to vote, or didn't have the ability, should I say, to vote for Trump in the primary? Please explain to me, Vito. Please explain to me how many of those people are going to come out in droves to vote for Trump.
You were telling me that.
What about union members who are registered Democrats who are overwhelmingly in support of Trump, but union leadership is the only one?
In New York, look at the numbers in New York, though. All those unions, all the new time voters, that's going to come to bring Trump at least 21 points to beat Hillary Clinton in arguably the most liberal blue state in the country.
Did Reagan win New York, yes or no?
He's not Donald Trump.
Did he win New York, yes or no?
Donald Trump is not Ronald
And
Reagan.
why did Reagan win New York, Vito?
Why?
Because he had a record amount of first-time voters. Voter turnout was ridiculously high for Ronald Reagan. I'm telling you now, Donald Trump is going to win New York, a bunch of the Northeast states, and he's going to win, I think, big. It's going to be huge. When we return to the Vito and Vito Show, we'll talk about Hiroshima and forget about it moments right here on the Vito and Vito Show.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other
and had
in no
idea
time.
how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm
don't
and
ignore
keep to the
this
plan.
message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org, brought to you by Ready PA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
That's right. Oh, my God, is right. The Vito and Vito Show back. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. Trump 2016.
Never Trump.
All right, now you know where the Vito stands. Vito, we made a deal.
We just made a bet.
We made a bet. We made a deal in honor of Mr. Trump.
Right, here's the bet.
The deal? Go ahead, Vito.
If Donald Trump wins New York during the general election, if Donald Trump wins, Vito gets to punch me in the face. If Hillary Clinton wins the general in New York, wins New York in the general election, I get to punch Vito.
All right.
It'll all be recorded and posted all over social media. Okay? That's it. We shook on this.
We shook on this, ladies and gentlemen. It's official. It's on the show. So we get to punch each other right in the mouth.
Not each other. I want to punch you.
What if
so
it's a tie?
hard.
Do we both punch each other? Does it happen at the same time?
I'll laugh if they split the toe.
You're going to split the electoral college votes. All right, listen. I want to touch on this because we mentioned this earlier in the program. President Obama decided to go to Japan. And when this moron went there, he basically apologized for the U.S. and their use of nuclear weapons in Hiroshima. And the only thing I have to say here to Mr. President is that he's the biggest schmuck ever to sit in the White House.
Can we use that word on air?
I'm using it. He's the biggest schmuck to ever step foot in the White House. This man going to Japan, Vito, and apologizing for us. First of all, we had nothing to do with this, okay? Truman did. So if you want to blame someone, go blame Truman.
I'm sorry for saving the world.
Okay, number one. Number two, let's make one thing very clear. Do we know how many lives would have been lost if the U.S. would have invaded mainland Japan? Imagine the fierce battle of Tokyo, how that would have the amount of losses the U.S. would have incurred. It would have been insane. Vito just stabbed himself with the Japanese flag. Don't even ask why we have a Japanese flag down here.
This is American.
Oh, you stabbed yourself with the American flag.
Schmuck. USA, USA, make America. Not on Trump. I'm not with Trump. I'm kidding. I do love America, and I do not like Donald Trump. That's where I stand.
President Obama, he's an apologizer. This is just going to honestly hurt the Democratic Party. Hillary is going to cozy up. She has cozied up to President Obama. She's cozied up with him when the attacks from Bernie came in on the left. He's still running for president, by the way. That man's still in the race.
He's waiting for him to get indicted.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
You know, it's going to happen.
There is a better shot of Hillary getting indicted than there is Bernie clinching the nomination for the Democratic Party.
Well, if she gets indicted... The people are still voting.
That's the joke, Vito, because the Obama administration won't indict Hillary Clinton. But there's more of a shot that she will get indicted than Bernie winning. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. They say there's going to be an upset win, by the way, in California with Bernie. He says that's what he's hoping for.
You mean the socialists in California are actually going to come out and vote for the socialists?
You think he'll win California?
Yeah.
You really think he'll win California?
Bold prediction. I'm doing it.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da. I don't think so. No way. Hillary's going to win. She'll wrap it up.
I'll punch you. I'll punch you if I'm right.
If Bernie wins, you get to punch me in the face. It's a very violent show. No,
it's very violent. Think of something else.
Right.
I'll take a finger from you. You want to forget about moments, Vito?
I'm not putting my fingers anywhere near you, Vito. All right? Or in you. Let's get one thing very clear. Forget about it moments of the week here on the Vito and Vito Show.
Forget about it?
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Paul, forget about it.
Forget about it moments right here on the Vito and Vito Show. We break down some of the craziest moments that ever happened in our lives over the past week, called Forget About It, because in Brooklyn it's a saying that says, forget about it. But we have a little vernacular thing. Forget about it. All right, Vito, what do you got?
Ready? The CDC has reported that
The Centers for Disease Control.
Very good, Vito. 30.4% of Americans are obese.
How many?
30.4. Almost a third. Every 1 in 3 people you encounter are fat.
I hate people like this,
15.1% of people smoke.
Oh, wow.
So, I wonder how many people are fat and smoke.
Oh, don't you hate those people? Oh, those terrible people. No.
Don't look
You know,
at me,
I
I'll
remember
smoke.
in high school, it was in high school when they showed in health class, it was Super Size Me. Okay, I'm sure you must have had
That's
this.
the stupidest movie.
I like that movie. I thought it was entertaining.
It takes a guy to be like, I found out that if I eat McDonald's every day for a month, I'm going to be fat. But it's so good. What?
I'm sorry. But
doesn't take his
when
freaking
I
genius.
was sitting there and I heard this stuff from my health class teachers who were like, smoking is bad, smokers are terrible people, people shouldn't smoke, you're going to die, and they would just point the finger at smokers, and I was like, wait a second, when are we going to stop pointing the finger at fat people for eating McDonald's and stuff like that?
Whoa, listen.
But I hate it when
smoking
these
was
health...
a cool thing to do in high school, right? I
Okay,
think
all
being
right.
fat was the cool thing. Like, wow, Debbie, look at all those pounds you put on.
You got some rolls. No, I mean, there's like a stigma against people who smoke, and it's a lifestyle choice. And some people eat, and they enjoy it, and they don't want to change their lifestyle, and they eat McDonald's a lot, and they get fat.
Watch, the Democrats going to be like, you have to be 21 years old to buy a hamburger now.
I could see
Or to
that
buy
happening.
large-
I
That's
could see
stupid.
that happening.
Let me smoke. Let me shove whatever I want into my mouth. Okay? that you can apply that to everything.
That's right.
Okay?
Anything you want.
Whatever you want.
As long as nobody's being forced to do it, who the hell are we?
Unless you're into that kind of thing.
And I think you are. Vito, are you?
It depends on the day. You know?
All right, Vito, let's see. So you got some...
You give me
Mick
like,
Jagger.
a situation? Yes.
Right? You like
Yes,
Mick Jagger,
yes.
right? You're a huge
The
Stones...
answer to your question coming up is yes.
Okay, you're a huge Stones fan.
Huge.
All right, you love him.
Huge.
All right, and a guy who looks like Mick Jagger walks up to you.
See, no impersonators. I know who
No, I'm
he
talking
is.
like genuine looks like him. The only difference is that, like, down there it's black. It's not white. So that's the only thing I got to deal with.
No, only Mick Jagger.
Only
the
Jagger.
real Mick Jagger.
Ah, good for you. Good for you.
Anyway.
We've learned something here today, ladies and
Speaking
gentlemen.
about Brits.
The Vito and Rainbow Show. What do you got?
Southern Wales last week, a bunch of sheep got into a farm and ate a bunch of cannabis plants. And they got so high they went into the village and just destroyed the town.
No. They eat everything in sight?
Yeah, it was a mess.
I could just imagine. Ah, man, I can imagine.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
Sheep's
That's
just
hardy
going-
har har. Ha ha.
Like when the sheep, right? Didn't one sheep jump off the cliff and then the rest follow them?
But yeah, follow
Kind of
the
happening with Donald Trump right now.
Never Trump. Never gonna win. Ah! I like it. I like it.
Principles.
Principles?
Yes.
What's good
Me and
principles?
John Quincy Adams.
What is the use of principles if you're not going to put them in action? All right, hold on.
Hey, my vote's going to go somewhere.
Hold on here. Did you see that gorilla that clawed a kid's face off or something like that?
Yeah, they dragged the kid. They had to kill the...
Yeah. He was dragging the kid everywhere. And you have these idiots running around on social media. I blame the parent. What the hell is your kid doing jumping over the railing of a zoo to a gorilla thing, to a gorilla pen? Are you out of your mind? Ridiculous. And then they go ahead, they're blaming the zoo and the person that shot the gorilla.
And they should have killed the gorilla. You definitely could have tranquilized it or went down there and done something besides kill him.
What are you going to do? Are you going to go down there and negotiate with the gorilla?
Yeah, talk to him.
We'll send Trump down there to make a deal with the gorilla to get back the kid.
If you can make a deal with the gorilla, you can make a deal with anyone.
What else you got?
Right? This is it. This is one cruise. There's a Mexican cruise line they're introducing that you and I probably can't go on because it's an adult-themed cruise for couples only. They're introducing this in 2017. They have private playrooms and adult entertainment.
When you say private playrooms, what do you mean by playroom? Like casino or?
No, Vito, what playroom? They don't say come down.
Hold on, wait a second.
It's an adult-themed, couples-only cruise. So you take
Ah,
another couple
all right.
that you are sexually interested in.
Like a swingers boat.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And there's
I'm going to
playrooms,
get me an
adult
escort and I'm going to go on that.
entertainment.
What else is on there?
Everything for couples. So probably very sexual.
Nice.
Adult entertainment, so dirty jokes.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, then...
That's cool. Maybe
10 o'clock after dinner and drinks, you go into some playroom where there's like, I don't know, carnival music and flying dildos. I don't know what goes on over there. I don't know what they came up with. But I do want to go.
Great.
I would invite you, but We're not together.
I don't think no. No, wrong cruise. No, thank you. But you know what? We should do the Vito and Vito show live from the adult-themed...
From a strip club.
Yeah, we should. Vito and Vito live at Foxy's. The Vito and Vito show is signing off here. Follow us at Vito and Vito Show. Give us a follow at Vito and Vito Show. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Check out the show. Network listings are on the website as well as past articles, new articles, whatever, past episodes.
Yep.
All that's great and fun on the website. It's Charlie Watts' birthday, speaking of the Rolling Stones. Happy birthday, Charlie.
Happy birthday, Charlie.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey, relax, we got sued.
All right, it's over. We got to go. The Vito and Vito Show signing off. Have a good night. We'll see you, America.